Uh, every time I just get this little but we cool, man. We cool.
Disbanded now, yeah.
But then I get again
Halo. Yo, welcome to today's episode of CandlerCreativeChats. My name is Dan Candler. Today we're speaking to Marcus Grimaldi, who is an incredible creative and an incredible singer-songwriter. He performed at one of our previous Unbound Perspective events back in February, so really looking forward to catching up with him and seeing what he's been up to since. But he's also a photographer, videographer, creative director, and a stylist, so he's definitely my kind of guy. Really looking forward to speaking to him today and diving into Marcus's journey and seeing how he operates in this wonderful, wonderful world. So let's get started and start today's creative chat. Sweet. Ta-da! Hello.
hello.
I've learned to wait for that little sign at the bottom where it goes that has the audio thing, and it's an X, and then it goes off the X, and then I go, okay,
we're ready to go.
We're ready to go. How the hell are you, Marcus? How are you
doing,
bro?
Good. I'm doing really well, actually. I just got out of studio yesterday, so vibes are good. Whenever I come out of studio, it's always good because you have more of a plan. You're like, I can release music. Yeah.
Is that what you've been up to since Unbound in February?
Yes. Well, I mean, releasing the music's always the goal. To be fair, always. To create new stuff and release new stuff. But yeah, I've been working with a few different producers. I've been trying to find like my producers. Do you know what I mean? Like the ones that are actually for me. They understand what I'm saying. Like I don't need to really explain too much, and we're on the same level and on the same vibe. And yesterday I had quite a good session, so I'm looking quite hopeful for the future. We bashed out at least 2 songs, so we got some good things coming.
Smashed it, mate.
Yeah, and we did it in like 3 hours, so it's like quite.
That's really cool. I'm looking forward to hearing the stuff. I think that's because I've been finding that over the last 6 months, I feel like I've been trying to find the right client.
Yeah.
And I think it's this constant goal of trying to find the right, just the right people.
The right vibes, isn't it?
You know what I mean?
You just need
the right
with
vibes.
Creativity as well, and like what we're trying to do is you need to be able to be vulnerable. Do you know what I mean? And that comes with energy and stuff like that. That's what I was thinking. Yeah. Big on energies.
Let's dive into that. Are you a spiritual kind of guy?
Yes, very much indeed. I see energies, I feel the energies, do you know what I mean? I know that my energy is quite strong, so I'm always quite aware of that. And I always sense when other people have like strong energies and things like that, and it can impact a room, and people don't really realize that sometimes within themselves. So that's like part of my artistry as well, because when I'm on stage, I hope to captivate people, and they literally just pushing out my energy towards them.
Well, that's what I was going to say about that. Is do you think that because I actually now I think about it, like when I was hearing you sing and I was just kind of catching up with a few of your tracks and stuff recently, like your new track, and like your vocals and your style, there is a vibration to it. There is a real positive kind of warming vibration to it, and you felt it at the event and stuff. So would you say that you try to emulate that spiritual energy within your music
100%.
to create? I mean, like obviously, like you said, you want to create that experience. So, yeah, do you think it feeds into your songwriting as well, and the type of things you're trying to put across to the world?
Yeah, 100%. Like my spirituality comes into it all the time. Like my brain thinks of so many wild and wonderful things as well. That's kind of what led me into my spirituality, because I was like, there's got to be something else out there. Do you know what I mean? I've always believed in other realms and like things like that. And that's what comes into my artistry as well, with all the multifaceted different types of artists I am. I write so many different things as well.
That's what I was going to dive into.
It
That's
comes
what I was going to dive
into
into next.
each genre that I write, to be honest, because it comes into all of them.
Yeah, sorry to interrupt.
Oh, I got thumbs. I'm doing thumbs up now.
Oh yeah, it's this new thing. It's this thing on.
I know, but it never happens when you want it to happen. It always happens accidentally.
Yeah, it never happens when you want it to happen. That's so jokes. That's what. Yeah, so I was just gonna dive into your incredible creativity, because you've got so many different vibes to you. It's very similar to myself. Do you think there is an element of that? I think as someone who feels energy, I'm kind of very similar to yourself in that sense, and who is very open, and because of that is very open-minded, and allows the freedom within them to kind of just like be unleashed. Do you think that is what's guided you through those pathways? Like, when did you start out as a lover of music, which then dived into these different realms, or have you always kind of just floated between different types of creative fields?
So I like trained in like musical theatre, so that was my original background. Cool. I went to stage school at the age of like 13.
Oh, where did you train?
So I went to Barbara Speake Stage School in like East Efton. Cool. And that was just like normal school, but stage school as well. And then I went on to I went to do like a 2-year normal uni course at Amersham for like musical theatre. I wanted to basically fuck around for a few years. So, and then I was like, let me take it seriously now. And then I went to Brighton and I trained there for 3 years. And then from then I went on to kind of be like a professional dancer, and I went on to do cruise ships and stuff like that. It was an amazing time. It's the best way to travel and get paid for it, I think, especially in your early 20s. It's the best thing to do.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. Because I went to Bodywork, and I know loads of people who went on cruise ships like straight after. And I think you're right. I think as soon as you leave college, I think that's such a perfect time to do it, because it almost gives you a break. Like, it almost gives you that break, gives you that time. Well, not break really, but gives you that time to travel and make the money, and then come back and then do your vibes.
It's such a good way. I saw so many things, and it like widened my horizons of my brain so much from just everyone you meet. And then I did that for like, oh god, how long did I do that? Like 3 years or something like that. And then after that, so COVID kind of stopped that, to be honest. And then I had to get a stupid office job, like we had to all in COVID times. And then I found my music, and now I'm also trying to remember your question. I don't really remember your question. I went on off a tangent.
It was very to be honest, mate, this is happens all the time. I do this all the time. I'll like state a question, or I'll like go into a tangent, and then I'll be like, I actually have no idea. The free flowing vibes, guys, this is the free flowing vibes that we love. No, it's mainly about about how you kind of how you started to connect with all these different creative fields.
Oh yeah,
and your origin story, kind of, and how you went into that.
Because all of that happened, that's like what brought it in. Because during them times, there was a lot of stories and a lot of ups and downs and things that happened, 360s and stuff like that, relationships and all that stuff. And that's what my music is about, like all of my experiences and things like that, from my point of view, of course. But I know that there's people like me out there that have been through similar things like that, and that's what I bring into my music, because I know that it can help people. And if someone else can just like, I kind of went through something similar like that. or or read between the lines, because my songs have always got a deep story. No matter, even if it's just
Mm,
like, it sounds simple, there's still like an underlining something.
mm. Talking about underline, in our co-working sessions, like our Candler Creative co-working sessions, we have every Monday. We've been speaking recently about like the core message of you as a
Mm.
brand. So like the underlining values that you were actually trying to put out there to the world, which fits with your brand, which then coincides in order to create you as an individual. What would you say your core messages are for you to be doing what you're doing? Like why do you do what you do? Like why do you do what you do? I feel like I said do like a million times.
Well, I've for me, I do what I do because there's actually nothing else I can do for personally for me. Like I've tried so many other things. I've done so many things, so many jobs,
Mm,
so many walks of life, and nothing else works. Like there's always something else that kind of fails, or so it doesn't go right, it doesn't feel right for me, or there's like too much anxiety or like something like that attached to it. Um,
mm,
so for me, it's like it's something that saves me, and that's what I feel like it can do for other people. And like I feel like I have something to say, and that's something that always sticks in my head. I'm always like when I'm writing, I'm like, do you have something to say? Because even sometimes I'm like, oh, actually, right now, no. But then the next time I'm like, actually, I've got something to say. And if I always keep feeling like I've got something to say, then I feel like people need to hear it. And
mm. Comes with the
I've always had this feeling
authenticity of
inside
it.
of me. It's like I can heal the world and the world can heal me. And it's like we can do that for
Mm,
each other. And that's
mm.
what I want.
It's yeah, it's bringing the authenticity to your music and to your creativity, which I think is so important just for life in general. It's very similar to kind of why I started doing the podcast, really, because started doing the podcast because I wanted to be able to evolve myself so I could be able to have conversations, because I always found it difficult, and I always found like I was trying to put something on which never needed to be put on. But as soon as I started saying doing this medium, I actually realized what it means to listen and what it means to actually have a conversation. Because having a conversation, we find ourselves trying to think of the conversation we think we want to have.
Yeah.
So we'll always try and like anticipate what to
Yeah.
say, and I would do that constantly, and that's where where it comes to interrupting and where it comes to this and and I think that then forms, by doing that and by truly listening, you then create you then create that authentic communication. And I think that's basically what you're trying to emulate, is an authentic communication, but through your music,
And
which is
there's
beautiful.
some songs where you
How do
like
you
you listen to it and you don't have any thoughts anymore. It's like
mm,
that sort of stuff.
where did you did musical
Yes.
theatre in school, stage school? Where do you think that all came from? Do you have like creative parents? Did you? I don't know. I mean, I think it's always important to ask the question of your childhood,
Mhm.
because I think everything within us, our mental health, our creativity, our lives, the way we put ourselves to the world, is all formed from the very early years of our childhood. So that's why I always ask that question. That's why I think there is always something. There is always a every single person I speak to, there is always a almost like a catalyst moment within their childhood lives, which then gets them onto this journey of exploring the unknown and being their creative selves. So, what do you think? What do you think your catalyst
For
was
me, I
in order
don't
to?
think there was like a specific moment, to be completely honest. Like, because I
Mm,
don't, I don't really have a creative family. Like, no one's really in music or things like that. I was the first one really to start doing that stuff. To be honest, maybe it was my sisters, because my sisters I have two older sisters. One of them started doing dance classes, and then I wanted to do dance classes. So then I started doing.
So did you see? So did you see her like maybe like come home with
Yeah,
this
I think I went to
excitement,
see. I
this
think I probably went
exuberation
to
of
watch
joy?
her do it, or like went with my mum to pick her up, or something like that, and was like, "Oh, this looks like fun," and then wanted to do it. So that's what I wanted, but I
Yeah.
never really thought about singing straight away. I was more like
Mm.
dancing, and then
Mm.
the other stuff just kind of came because then my mum was like, "Oh, let's maybe get him in like a
Mm.
Saturday school and something like that." So then I started doing like a Saturday school,
Mm.
which then led into the stage school. But I did go to a normal
Mm.
school first as well, and I hated it. I was getting bullied all the time. Like it was just not nice. Like I used
Mm.
to get shouted out on the way home. Like all these things was just not nice. So my mum was like, "We also need to get you out of there because that's not fair for you." And
There's such a cross between those two things. You found your catalyst. Because, like, say for me, my catalyst was picking up a Diablo when I was 10 years old. Actually, no. In fact, I can actually draw my catalyst even back further, because I'm pretty sure when I was a kid and I was like literally like maybe 4 or 5, I'm pretty sure I would like dress up in like some extravagant clothes, or like
oh,
I'd
I
put my
used to do that
sister's
as
like
well.
dress on or something, and I'd be like doing a performance for my mum and like my sister and that, and then I'd like whatever, and then I didn't even really think about it. I think I then went to stage call, because again it was very similar to yourself. Like I just needed to get out of a situation and just do something. I just wanted to do something that wasn't academic, because no one understood me as an individual at school, because I couldn't do anything academic.
Yeah,
It just
I was the
wasn't me.
same.
So I always feel like there is this almost like a pull for certain people in order to go in that direction. And then like I said, I think my main catalyst was when I picked up a Diablo when I was 10 years old, and I just got it. Like I just picked up like that, and then every month or I'd pick up something else, and I'd do something else, and I'd do something else, and then it was just this constant stream of like creativity which then led me to the like year 11 in school, where I was like, right, I either go to sixth form and do what everyone else does, or I go to college. And I've heard a couple of people say about some sort of like musical theatre course or something. So like, I guess that's not going to be writing. So fuck it, I'll just go and do that. And then, you know what I mean? And like, here we are now. So yeah, I definitely but what see again, so again, I've done it now. I was leading into something about what you were saying about the cross between. But I mean, it's
I
pretty much
definitely
that.
lean towards all the musicals and everything as well. Though when I was a kid, I loved like all of the Disney stuff and stuff like that. Especially growing up, I grew up in a house with 3 women. So because my mum and dad got divorced when I was like 3, so I grew up with my mum and 2 sisters basically. So I
Oh,
grew up with
okay.
a lot of their influences as well, like musically.
Yeah, because I grew up with my mum, because my mum and dad split when I was about 3 or 4, to be
Yeah,
fair. And then I grew up with my mum and sister and brother, and yeah, I was just quite like, I just think when I was younger, I always, maybe it's because I was so close to my mum, I always drew more towards like females, like, and like women, and just would like hang around with like girls or whatever, and like just do
that was the
it
same. To
was
be fair,
yeah. So I don't know, but so I want to dive into your other creative fields, because you say that, so you are a photographer, videographer, a
I do
stylist, a creative
many
director. Let's dive
things.
in many things. I think it comes with it. I
Yeah,
think nowadays anyway, I think we all are multifaceted
yeah,
creatives, but yet we need to be put into a box for people to understand us. It's just how, I just think that's how society has run. But I think there is a new wave, because you can do
yeah,
whatever the fuck you want, and you can learn everything. So I think there is this new wave of the type of creatives we are becoming, and I don't think there is any particular yes, there's particular niches, but I think there's more. I think we as creatives are the niche. You know what I mean? Whatever that comes with. So whether you are a photographer, videographer, and a creative director, and a musician,
The great thing
singer
is you can
songwriter, it
create your
all
own niche now as well.
exactly. But you yourself are the niche and everything that comes with. So when did you start your journey as a photographer?
It's kind of been like in and out, to be honest. Like I've never really been like an official photographer, but there's pictures out there that I've taken from years and years that like are beautiful. And it's been having to do like my own content and doing my friends' content and stuff like that. I have like 2 other artists that like are my really good friends, and we basically are the dream team and do it all ourselves. But it's throughout the years, like being on the cruise ship as well, like we were always taking pictures, like we got the professional camera and we're like just playing around and things like that, so you learn all this stuff as well. And then that falls into little things of actually taking pictures for people. Yeah, it's still going. It's something that is always like on the side for me. I'm always like, yeah, I'll dip back into that. I'll dip back into that one every now and then. Mainly when I've got to do something for myself or a friend.
Leading to your singer-songwriting career. So how do you think that all of these other creative endeavors support your music career? How do you think it all links?
I think being creative all round is just important. Like when you're not making music, still doing something creative, and like it, still having a passion for it as well. That's a plus. If you can find something else creative as well that you really love to do and you really love to learn about, then I think that's really great, and it's something that you should also pursue, because it all ties into it. And you never know, like that might be the thing that gets me into the music thing that way. Do you know what I mean? Like, or that might be the thing that gets me into that door, or you never know who you're gonna meet. As long as it's creative, in my brain, I'm like, that's still progression, and that's still getting you in the right way. So
yeah. The links of the links, which is what
you also got to be smart about it.
you gotta be smart. You have got to be smart. Yeah, I was gonna say the links to the links, because some Joanna Freeman, who I had like another one of these co-working sessions, and she was talking about this, how sometimes we think of it hard to find the links we need in order to get to where we want to be. But if you can find the links around the links and start doing something different that you probably wouldn't even think of, like going to that random event that is like I don't know, just this creative networking thing that's just so out of your field, or going or messaging someone on Instagram and just thinking, oh yo, like, do you want to have a creative session, or do you want to do this, or picking up a camera and just randomly shooting something. You know what I mean? Like finding the links of the links, and you just never know. Exactly, you never know. But just diving full-heartedly as a creative, I think, is so
and
important.
my mum always said, you never get unless you ask, so you got to ask. That's what my mum always says. That's what's always in my head.
Amen to that. So back to your music then. The approach of your singer-songwriter, you kind of dived slightly into it. We spoke about like spirituality, but what do you have an approach to your songwriting? Do you say, for instance, I had a conversation in a previous episode with Theon Marcel, who is an amazing musical artist, and his approach, he loves stories. Like he loves stories, so he'll see anything from that's going on as he's walking around, people he's speaking to, the experiences that he has, and he almost forms it like a story, and then gets that out into the world as the song type that he would like. So do you have what's your kind of main approach to singer-songwriting that you think could help someone out there who doesn't know how to get started?
my approach, because I've done this with a few of my friends as well, because my approach is like, just go with your feeling, whatever it is. Like, you always have thoughts in your head, you'll always have thoughts going on in your head, so just say them, like, into the mic. Instead of keeping them in your head, just say them, and your brain will go, oh no, don't say that. But even if it says no, don't say that, no, don't say that, just say that. And then something else will come, and then something else will come, and something else will come. As soon as you start speaking, you'll be surprised it's hard to stop. Like, and just find any instrumental. I've literally done this with some of my best friends when they're like stressed or whatever, and I'm like, I think you just need to like relax. We'll find an instrumental that they like, anything randomly off YouTube, and then just put it onto my Logic, and then just don't even have to sing, just speak. And then if you want to sing, that might turn into a song, or it might not. Or then you can even show it to someone like me, and then I'd be like, oh, that's great, I hear like harmonies in the background, these oohs, these ahs, these blah blah blahs, and then I'll put it all on, and then it might sound like a spoken word piece, and then you release it, and then opportunities are endless.
There is such a vulnerableness to that, though, isn't
Of course
there?
there is. It's hard. It's like so much easier said than done. But if
Yeah,
you
yeah,
if you
yeah,
can
yeah.
put yourself in the vulnerable space, then
Mm.
that's how magical things get created.
Yeah, I always think speaking is truth,
Yeah.
because like you can think things, but as soon as you say them, then it's in reality. It's
Yeah.
it's truth, and it may not be truth, it may be a lie, but you're speaking it out into you're making it a
Yeah.
reality. So I think it is yeah, it's very yeah, it's very prevalent. So if you're whatever you think, you just record it?
Yeah, I
So
would literally just record
like
it. I would just press record and then have the track there. And then I would listen to the track maybe once before, just like to know that I like it. But then you don't really need to know 100% the timing. Like if you go for something fast, then yeah, you might need to.
because then how do you like, because do you know how to play like piano or like
I
guitars
can
and
play like
stuff,
a bit,
and
but
then
I
do
can't
it?
play like properly.
Mm,
I'm more like, because I write down a lot of notes as well. Like if I just randomly think of song lyrics, like it's normally annoying times for me when I'm just about to go to sleep and I've literally just got cozy,
mm.
and then my brain is like, no, 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 and I'm like, oh fuck.
Yeah.
Sorry, am I allowed
Yeah.
to swear? Also, I keep swearing. Um,
Yeah, fucking
oh
yeah,
great.
do whatever the fuck you want.
Um, yeah. So I have a lot of notes as well. So sometimes I go back and then I have something I really like a paragraph or something. And then I'll normally try and find something, or try and put together a few sounds and stuff like that from the Logic plugins and stuff like that. And make a
Because
little
you
something.
can you feel the beats? Like
It's more like I can
it sound.
hear that I can hear the sound that it needs to be.
Mm,
Like yesterday when I was in the studio as well, we were making the instrumental to my song, and I could just hear that there was supposed to be like extra piano bits. I can't really explain it, but then
there's
I was like,
something like
and then he was like, "Can you
there's
sing it for me?" And I
something.
was like, "Dun, dun, 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 dun." And he was like, "Okay, cool." So
Mm,
I yeah, but I can hear the things before it comes. Like that's why my dream is to have like a big orchestra and to just like stand there and just be like, "Okay, you go," and then be like, "Okay, drinks, yes, give me
yeah,
and then just like keep going. Oh, that'd be so fun.
all of you wait there for 6 hours. I'm thinking of something. Just give me
Yeah.
a sec. Right, cool. I'm feeling something
I
here.
know, but
You do this.
it won't take that
And
long. It
we.
won't take that long. We're vibes. That's what I'll do on stage one day. That's the dream.
Oh, that's so sick. What was it? I was gonna say. What was I gonna say? Oh yeah. So you're getting ready for stage.
Yes.
What's your kind of go-to kind of like process for getting ready for performances? And do you do them often? Like, do you do live performances often, or do you like to stick to the
Not as
studio?
often as I wish. I'm trying to get some more music out there first, because I don't have as much out there yet. So I want more out there so I have more to perform, basically. Um,
Mm.
but I've been like slightly preparing under wraps the whole time. It's just a lot of like I have a vocal coach that I do a lot of stuff with basically every week, and then I have a lot of dancer friends and stuff like that that we train and things like that. And I've got some more things planned in the future. I'm getting more intensely back into dancing because I stopped for a while after the cruise ship and everything, and I was more into my music and stuff like that. So I stopped training as much dancing, but I'm going to get back into that now.
Oh, cool.
But it's going to be fun because I get to be the Beyonce of things instead of the one in the back.
Yeah. What's your main style of dance?
So I feel like I'm trying to find my style of dance again, to be honest. But it's more probably leaning more commercial. But I do love when I used to dance, I loved doing like the modern and contemporary side of things. So that will probably take a sneak peek and stuff, but that may not be me doing it as of yet. May need some more training before I get back in there. But I've got some friends that are real good at that, so there may be a video or two that come of that.
And social media makes us. Well, I know. I mean, I'm speaking personally, and I don't know about you, but I feel like social media has this. It has this almost this pressure to it, where it makes us feel like we need to get things out there all the time to show people that we do exist and our creativity is still flowing. So, how do you manage that in between albums, EPs, singles, where you are working behind the scenes? Because it's the same. I think I'm kind of in it at the moment, where kind of creative is we've got so many things under like in the back that we're kind of having to work on, and we've got things in the pipeline and stuff. And over the last year, 2 years, I've been on socials, getting stuff out there just constantly, and I'm in this paradigm now where I'm kind of like not in limbo, but we're just doing certain things that we're just like, I just don't want to get that out yet.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So how do you and I see it as a singer-songwriter, you're constantly having these kind of, I guess I'm just putting it out there, but that you have these gaps of, creating the albums or the EPs or something, or do you try and have it where it's kind of continuous, or yeah, but I guess that gap is what I'm trying to discuss.
I don't even think like having a gap is bad. I think it's good for everyone. I mean, their mental health and things like that, people that actually manage their own stuff. I mean, of course, the ideal thing is get to a point where you have a team that do that for you. Do you know what I mean? And that's where we're all trying to get to, where we're big companies and stuff like that, so we don't actually have to do that stuff ourselves. But for me, I just because I just had a bit of a gap on Instagram because I just kind of had a bit of enough of it. I was like, I just don't really want to post because it wasn't feeling authentic. And for me, as long as it's authentic and it's coming from, I genuinely just wanted to post that. That's fun, or that's really good content. I'm really proud of it. Like, if that's what it is, then post it, then post away, and then just keep doing it. And as long as it's feeding that inside of you, then it will get you where you want to go. That's what I believe.
It's
hard to manage it with everything going on as well, especially being independent. It's hard to do everything because it's very time consuming as well.
And that's why I think it's always does it when you don't. For anyone who can't see the balloons, there's like Mac and the balloons, and anyway, so I think, and this is almost why I think I ask, is because I truly believe in that, and over the last year or whatever, I've been trying to be more of an authentic poster, rather than the toxic posting, and putting yourself out there to the world. That I'm trying to stop that, because I think that's how we should be using social media. Social media has now become a non-social thing, and it's just become this kind of like, this kind of like entitled, egotistical thing where, and there's these two paradigms where you've got the whole entire internet and your algorithms and these big corporate social media companies telling you have to be posting 5 times a day, you have to be on our platform all the time if you want to get seen, like, do you want to be successful, do you want to do this, just constantly like down your throats. But then you've got this side of you where it's like, no, I don't want to do that, but I'm feeling like I need to because I feel like everyone else is doing it. So I guess it's a case of like how you manage that for your mental health. I mean, the mentalities towards it.
It's the same thing,
which is basically what you just explained.
If you put your heart and soul into your content and what you're actually doing is what you're proud of, then it's not going to feel like that. It won't feel like you're doing it because you have to. It'll feel like I'm doing it because you're doing it because you want to. Because I even have things like, I've done quite a lot in the last few weeks, but I haven't posted a lot of it, and I've just kept it, and I'm keeping it for when I feel is right, because I'm like, I just don't feel like it's the right time. I don't actually like have the things all planned out yet. So it's like, you can just post, but then you are just doing it because of that, and you're just gonna fall into that algorithm, if you like, the algorithm of doing it like that. And then you'll be a pattern that you have to get yourself out of and stuff, because it's unrealistic. We're not the huge like Megan Thee Stallion and all these people that can post 3-4 times a day where they're in 10 million thousand places. Do you know what I mean? Like, unfortunately, not yet. That's not the deal yet. So you got to just make sure it's authentic and it's pure, and you believe in it. If you're willing to go, guys, look, I posted this, then do that. That's what I do. I'm like, look what I posted. It's so fun. If you're proud of it, be proud.
Yeah, it's so true. We do. I really do feel, especially with everything that's going on around the world at the moment, you know, we're in really hard times at the moment. I think the only way of getting out of that is becoming, well, the small ways that we can work towards to get out of that for ourselves is becoming more authentic and becoming just more pure and honest. And I think that's where, you know, that's where we can start, but because it is such a massive part of everyone's lives. So if you can start with this small thing of going like, of just going like, look, I'm actually just going to show the world when I want to show the world, and I'm just going to do my thing every day. I think there is such power in that.
It's basically like what like Adele does. Do you know what I mean? She doesn't post all of her things. I mean, I know she's a bit further back from time, but that's basically what she does. She doesn't really post anything about her life that much and stuff like that. She just does her music and speaks for herself. And that's how they. I mean, it works.
Tell me, tell me about your latest track. You've got a new track out,
Not
right?
yet. I will have a new track out.
Tell me about that. What's
it's
the
unconfirmed which one it is yet. So, but there's an option of 2. So, but they will both be coming out. But I'm just not sure which one first. Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
Well, I'm excited to hear about that. Okay. Well, what's the next steps for you?
Keep working on my voice. Always. Vocal coach. Always. Get back into proper dancing and get performing. Get deals for things. Yeah.
Well, fantastic. Marcus, it's been amazing to speak to you. Just let everyone know the best place for people, where people can find you, whether it's socials, websites. I'll pop it in the description, but just so people can be aware.
So they can find me on Instagram and TikTok. It's basically the same. You find, if you just type in my full name, Marcus Grimaldi. If you can't spell Grimaldi, it's Grimaldi. Grimaldi for the Italians.
Oh, is it? Are you like part
Yes, I'm
Italian?
half Italian. English
Ah, la la
Italiano.
la.
But I
Oh,
was
amazing.
born and raised
Well,
here. So.
yeah. It's been an amazing pleasure to catch up with you, bro. And that's why I love these things, man. Like I get to meet such amazing creatives. You know, I met you at I met you properly at the events, and now I get to speak to you in, deeper terms
It's been
and find
nice.
out a bit more about you here. And you really are a really lovely soul,
Thank
bro.
you.
And you've got such an amazing voice and energy to you, and I really do love your music. So
Thank
thank
you.
you so
Appreciate
much, man, for joining me today.
it.
And yeah, I can't wait to do
Thanks
this
for
again.
having me.
Sweet as a nut, bro. No, thank you so
Thank
much.
you.
Thank you, everyone. Remember to subscribe and follow and all that
Do it.
shizzle. You're all amazing human beings.
Do
Do it. You heard it. You heard it first. So thanks, guys. Thanks a lot. Cheers.